What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Final Checkpoint Podcast. This is episode 48. Or I guess not welcome back. Some people might be here for the first time. So welcome you to you right there.
Thank you.
I see you. Welcome to the Final Checkpoint Podcast. This is episode 48. Each week, we react to some of the latest video game news and talk about video games that we're playing. My name is Joel.
And I am Ben.
Ben, did you know that you can find new and old episodes of this podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, and thegamefanatics.com?
Yes, I did know this.
Well, I'm glad
Please,
that you know.
Just tell me more, I guess. I don't know.
I hope everybody out there knows all of our old episodes are there. You can go and listen to them whenever you want. We've provided for you an on-demand menu of episodes you can listen to. It's
and
great.
You know what? They're chronologically listed too.
Yeah. You can actually, as you listen to them from the beginning to like the newest episode, you can hear the coronavirus ruin our lives. It's great.
I really, you know what we should do actually? At the end of the year, or right before like the bombs fall and we all die, we should listen to some of the February episodes together.
Oh yeah.
For the intros where we're like, what's going on? I canceled PAX. That's weird.
They actually have a category on Twitch that is I think it's watch parties.
That'd be good.
We can do that. That's right. We are also live streaming the recording of these episodes on Sundays on twitch.tv/loadlesscheckpoints. You can head over there and watch it live and hear this mess happen as it happens.
Mm-hmm. And you need to say what time that is.
Oh God, I always forget that.
They're just sitting there all Sunday.
8 p.m. Pacific time.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, and I always think of Pacific time as like the go-to because Eastern time to me always seems really late. If I say that like, hey, we're recording at like it's 1 a.m. Eastern time or whatever the fuck it is. But also like I don't think people know that Mountain Time exists, and then Arizona just lives in this like weird void of time zones. So we never know what time it is in Arizona.
No one knows Mountain Time exists unless you live in Mountain Time.
Exactly.
And for the record, Arizona is currently on Pacific time, ostensibly. So we're good there.
Okay, perfect.
For
easy.
2 more months.
Easy, yeah. See, like, I didn't know Mountain Time existed until I moved to Idaho.
That's what I'm saying.
In fact, I didn't even know where Idaho was until I moved to Idaho.
That's just because I didn't pay attention in school.
I did not.
How old were you when you moved to Idaho?
I was 22 when I moved here, but I never really cared. Well, I never really cared to know where it was. I think that's what it is.
Fair.
It's more like I shunned it out of my mind.
It's one of those states where you're like, oh, I guess. Oh, all right, it's there, fine, and you just forget about it.
Yeah, the only state that I knew where it was like California, and then Texas, and then I knew Canada was up there somewhere because of Degrassi.
Did you not in school have to memorize all the states and all the capitals and stuff?
We did. My memory's also really like shit, so I've forgotten everything.
I'm not gonna claim to know all the state capitals because fuck no.
But oh God, no.
I could probably name, if you gave me a map, I could probably name at least half the states and where they are correctly. I think
I could get a lot of them now, but once you get up to that corner where like New Jersey and Maine and those like they might as well combine them all and just give them one name.
My problem area is the middle, where it's just like, oh, is that Ohio? Yeah, that. Oh, but Nebraska's that one? Yeah, that's not great.
Yeah, I wish they were all shaped as like the letter of
their name.
Yeah.
What is this giant Tetris you've created?
I don't know, but I want to play it.
There's these demilitarized zones where they couldn't get the letters to fit in. And, like, no one can live there. That's not a state.
Yeah, it's just like flat nothing.
Yeah,
got to keep it. They
blank. Intentionally destroy the land. They just burn it all.
Wait, but I live here.
This is so we know what the states are, Jimmy.
Yeah. Okay. We have to reshape the state because this used to just be Carolina, but now it's like South Carolina.
It's 2 letters, and the letters kind of have to touch so they can get to the other ones. It's a whole disaster. Maybe we make giant bridges in between the dead zones.
Yeah, they're just over them.
I'm into this. Now we need the Death Stranding sequel where this is the map. It's just
Oh, that'd be
letters.
cool. Man, I really want to play that so bad. I'm gonna play it someday, I swear. Someday. Death Stranding.
I hope you can't hear my PC case rattling like it's a fucking snake.
What do you have in there?
It's just loose, I guess. It stopped, but
Oh,
it was really going at it.
well. Ben, how was your week? How did that go?
I'm trying. Do I do anything? Let me think. Let me think again. No, I don't think I do anything. Oh my God! Stop rattling. Speaking of a PC, I spent a lot more time looking at PC parts and doing all that shit.
Yeah.
Looks like it's gonna be a little more money than I wanted to spend.
Oh, wow.
So we'll see, but it's gonna be super awesome, and I'm very excited. Stop rattling, or you're on your deathbed, and you can tell I'm talking about you. I know.
It's like, I'll show you.
Yeah, it's gonna be great to play Cyberpunk. Really excited for that, to just blow that
Nice.
out of the water. I'm basically, it's a whole new build except for the GPU, which I'll just take from you, Noisy. And yeah, it's gonna be cool. I'm excited, but God, it's a lot of money. It's more money
It's
than I probably
gonna-
should spend, but
Your current computer is going to set itself on fire from hearing all this slander.
it's about to get thrown off the desk. Can you not rattle, please? I moved the casing. It's a long story where this last PC I built was really good. I like it a lot. You hear that? But the case I got, I didn't really pay attention to it, and I got a case that's very poor airflow. So essentially, when I'm playing a newer game, I take the panel off the side so it doesn't get super, super hot.
Oh, okay.
Which seems like a design flaw for a case. If
Yeah.
you're asking me.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's why it's rattling, because it's not on all the way. Yeah.
Okay.
It's not even. Also, that computer's not even on. It's just obnoxious.
Oh, it's not even on and it's making that noise?
It's
Oh.
the other things are rattling it, I guess. My other PC. There's just PCs everywhere. I don't throw anything away. So it's just 10-year-old PC. This old shit over here. Yeah.
Nice.
How do you throw computers away?
I don't think you can.
Exactly.
I think you have to like fuse it into one, and then eventually it comes to life and it becomes your friend.
I think I'll just throw it away.
Okay.
I have to figure it out though, because I can't just keep having these husks of dead computers everywhere.
Put them all in a Best Buy shopping cart and drop it off in front of Best Buy, and then maybe they'll just take care of it.
I think Best Buy does have some sort of electronics recycling thing, but maybe that's just for printer cartridges. It was something because I remember my mom.
Oh yeah, they do. I know they do that for printer cartridges, and I think don't they have a service for hard drives where they like wipe it for you?
I don't care about that. I'll take my hard drives out. I guess I'll look into that. I might have to call someone. Ugh. Gross.
Can't I just live chat them? Come on.
That might be worse.
Maybe. Sometimes
It's
it is
worse for them, really, to be honest. Did you do anything exciting this week?
No. I spent a
we're not
lot of
excited.
time and we were redoing our backyard still, so like I spent a lot of time going back and forth to Home Depot to pick up stuff, and spent a lot of time in the hot sun just getting burnt to a crisp, like leveling out the area where we were putting this new kind of like brick section to have for like a fire pit and like some chairs and stuff, which we previously had, but it started like part of our yard is a little like sloped, so like the water would kind of pile up in one section, and we wanted to kind of level that out. So we basically pulled up all the bricks, removed our fireplace that we put in when we first moved into this house, and then we moved all the brick kind of like where we're putting it over a few feet, and then we leveled it this time with like a ton of dirt and sand, and then we put all the brick down. And so now we're getting some dirt delivered from my brother-in-law tomorrow, so we can finish packing the dirt around, and then hopefully we can be done. Because that was a pain in the ass. Oh, and I binge watched Umbrella Academy, which I had kind of seen before, but I forgot everything about it.
Kind of seen before.
Yeah, like I'd seen like episodes here and there, but I was also like
Mm.
playing something on the Switch, so I was like kind of half
Okay.
watching it. And I think that might have been when Pokemon came out, so that's probably what I was doing. But I went through, I marathoned it, and God, that show's so good. I love that show. And I just started the second season, so really good. I highly recommend it if you haven't seen it. It's and it's not like one of those like superhero shows where like it takes a minute to really get into it. Like the characters have to grow on you. Like for me, I instantly started liking all the characters. They're just like really funny and really cool, and it's almost like Doom Patrol, but I think this is better than Doom Patrol for sure.
Okay. I haven't watched Doom Patrol. It's on my list of things.
Yeah, I feel like they're very similar in what they're doing, but
Okay.
I feel like Umbrella Academy does it so much better.
Did you watch The Boys?
I did, yeah. Yeah, I like The Boys. That was good.
I'm like on episode 4.
Oh, nice. Okay. It's really good, and then the new season comes out September 4th, I think.
Yeah. That's part of the reason why I started watching it.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
I
it's
guess-
good. It's good. They leave you wanting more for sure.
Okay. Does this bother you about it? Cause I do like it. I forget. I mean, episode 4, I don't know. It doesn't matter. But the main guy, the kid who has his
Howie.
girlfriend killed,
Yeah.
does he look too old to be playing this like
He
23-year-old?
sometimes he does.
He's like,
Sometimes he
sometimes
doesn't.
he
Yeah, he has
looks-
like these weird flashes of like, wait, are you 40?
He looks he has this weird face that looks like 30 or 40,
Mm-hmm.
depending on. And he's actually 28. I looked it up,
Yeah.
which is baffling because he looks 10 years older than me, which would make him 40 for the record.
maybe he's been through a lot.
He looks so weird, and I figured it out too. What it is he's got these very defined, like cheekbone. Not I don't know if it's cheekbones or like creases in his face. If you watch it and look at it, his mouth and his cheeks have this very defined crease. That's not like a laugh line or something, but just this fleshy fold, and it's very pronounced. So he's distracting because he's
Oh, I see.
yeah, if you look it up, you'll see what I'm saying. Because his character should be like 23 or something like that.
Yeah.
But he
kind of looks like somebody's dad.
35 to 40. Like, yeah, when his dad is, what's that guy really? Whatever his name is. And I'm like, he could be your brother. Like,
Yeah.
You don't look that much older.
Oh, I forgot who did play his dad in that show. Was
I forget, I'm dying.
I forgot.
It's that guy. I've never seen him do an American accent. It was weird.
That's bugging me now. I feel like I have to know.
I could tell you other things he's done because he's in Mission Impossible. He's in the Star Trek movies. What is his name?
It's killing me. I'm bringing up the IMDb thing
Okay.
right now to try to find out. Oh,
But anyway,
Simon Pegg, right?
Simon Pegg. That's it.
Oh shit, yeah, okay. I forgot it was him for a second, but I remembered the dad being recognizable.
Yeah,
Cool. All right.
that was cool. I never seen him do an American accent. That was really cool. But I like the show. I like the show a fair amount. It's just this guy looks old and it's weird.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm going crazy. Like, does no one else see this? Does no one else see this?
No, I
This is a
definitely noticed that
40-year-old
stuff.
man.
I definitely notice stuff like that when I'm watching something. I'm like, they seem, maybe the Power Rangers seem like they're in their 40s. You know, like shit like that. But yeah, good show though. Really good show.
I have to edit out the part where I die.
Yeah, I will. As Ben dies, what I'm trying to remember. I feel like I watched something. Oh, NBA started back up again. Very excited. So happy
How's
this
that?
week to finally. Oh, it's been great. The games have been really good. Been a couple blowouts, so that part not so great, but because that gets kind of boring. What's really funny is shit, was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday. The Clippers played the New Orleans Pelicans, and the Clippers were winning probably by like 20 or 30 points throughout most of the game. And what the NBA is doing is they have these virtual screens up, and so people can zoom in, like, or I think cam in some way. Like, I think you have to buy tickets or something like that to get in, but you can basically like be in the background of the game.
Oh.
you know how like MLB's doing like the cardboard cutouts and stuff like that.
Right.
They're doing like virtual things, but what was funny is it was very noticeable that generally when a team's getting blown out, fans will start leaving early. You know, because like
Sure.
you know, we know who's gonna win at this point. Like, who cares? Let's just get out of here. And so virtual fans were starting to leave early. And so they put it up on like a Bleacher Report or something like that. I was just laughing. I'm like, oh,
That's actually really cool.
yeah, it's cool. I think because it still draws in that crowd noise. Where I think other sports are trying to do it. Who was it? NHL. NHL is actually, I think, contracted like people from like EA Sports to help them create the fan noise into their stadiums for the
Give me
games.
20 minutes, I'll make your fucking fan noise. It's not that hard.
Oh yeah, I mean, you just record it and then from previous games and then just put it out there.
Yeah, how about you just do that? You already have the crowd noise.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it's been cool. It made me reinstall NBA 2K20, and so I played that while I rewatched
Such a Karen for basketball over here.
I know. That's what I was basically playing while I was watching Umbrella Academy, which is really good.
Still couldn't pay attention to Umbrella Academy.
I did like I would pause. That's the nice thing. I was pausing the game for like the show mostly, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, Ben.
Yes. It's a slow news week. Can you tell?
A little bit of a slow news week, yeah, for sure. Shall we get to our topic of the show?
Let's do it. Many topics this week. I want to talk about the Avengers and their latest little War Table. That's what it is. I almost forgot.
Yeah.
War Table.
War Table.
A little bit more about Halo Infinite, the giga-leak from Nintendo. And you put Anthem on here, and I'll just listen to your insanity when we get to it.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, let's start with Avengers, their War Table July reveal or update or whatever they're doing. They kind of gave some details on the beta, and then they showed more gameplay and kind of different things. Ben, I gotta say, I was really not interested in this game previously, but after watching that and kind of, I don't know, just like I think. I watched I watched the initial stream, and then I rewatched Kind of Funny's like their reactions to it. Yeah, their watch along. And man, I don't know. Aside from how disturbingly ugly the characters look, like just the faces, mainly,
Yeah.
this game is looking fun. Like I'm definitely more like interested in playing it than I was before.
I don't know. I think what it was there was a amount of confidence shown in this presentation. Here's a bunch of gameplay, and in the beta you're getting this and this and this and this and this and this. And it seemed like, oh, okay, you know what you're doing on the gameplay side, seemingly, and you trust that you're gonna put out several missions, and we're gonna be able to actually taste test this. Now, I know we're gonna play this, right? We gotta play this together. This beta. I'm worried I play this for like 3-4 hours and then I never play the game because like that was enough. That was good. Do you if you like this beta, will you play this game still though?
So I think the gameplay of it is something that looks really cool. What makes me not want to play, like what the part that is pushing me away is the Destiny part of it. Like I'm just Destiny really burnt me out on a game like that. And although the Division was a lot like that, there's something about the Division that I really like because there's more of a single player aspect to it that I thought I enjoyed. Where Destiny was very heavy on like you to do strikes, to do raids, all this stuff. You got to have your friends, whatever. You got to have teammates. And I was so burnt out on that type of game that I just like anytime I see a game that is like that, I instantly don't want to play it. And watching how Avengers is kind of like that, but not like you still get AI partners, which is pretty cool. You get like AI teammates you can use for your missions.
Yeah.
that's the part that's interesting to me. It's got that dynamic. But I don't know. I'm it's if it's a game where like you have to do the dailies and the weeklies and stuff like that just to get really anywhere in the game, then I'm kind of
Hmm.
not super interested. I think it just looks really fun to play, and I think it could be cool to like play it with friends and also get like the different costumes and things like that, and really kind of have your own build or skill set for like your version of the Hulk compared to this person's Hulk. Like I like the idea of that. It almost reminds me of like what is it? Marvel Heroes.
Sure. Yeah. I I still remain skeptical at how different these heroes are gonna play.
Yeah.
And that's why I am excited for this beta, just to play it, because, and you brought it up at the top, like it visually, it looks fine visually, but the character models. And I was listening to some podcasts where they brought up like, well, they're based on the comics. The comics don't look shitty though. Like these character models, what comics are they based on? That they look they just look so default and lame. I think it was another, actually, a separate podcast from that one that called it like, this is male character one and this is female character one. And they're just so generic and bland in a way that doesn't look right.
Yeah.
In a game where you can create your character, those characters that are these like husks of people with weird faces, they look more realistic or have more character than these characters, because they just are so bland. And if you didn't want, and understandably so, you couldn't use the likenesses from all these actors, right? That's crazy. You wouldn't spend that much money on this.
Yeah.
You didn't want to do that. Why didn't you just make them completely different? Where it's like, oh, now I'm blanking on hero names, but like, oh, Thor's completely different. He looks like this. You know, it's short Thor or whatever. Oh, our Black Widow is Asian. Like, just do weird shit. That actually makes sense for a character. Russia's right over there. Like, do something different. Don't make them look like you went to Party City and bought like a spooky mask and it's just an off-brand Michael Myers mask, you know? Like
Spooky mask. I love that.
spooky mask. That's what it is. Like, it just seems so lame and uninspired looking. And
Yeah.
God, it just doesn't look good. And I don't know how anyone can look at any of these characters, except for Kamala Khan, actually. Because
Yeah,
she
she
just
looks really
looks
cool.
like her character.
Yeah.
That works. She looks like the comic. Everyone else looks like a bunch of cosplayers that aren't very good. It's
Yeah,
so
I mean,
bizarre.
Hulk looks really good. Like when Hulk is Hulk and not, Bruce
No,
Banner.
he's got a
Like
weird
he looks
face.
really cool. Really? I thought he
Yeah,
looked
he's got a
okay.
weird face.
I guess he always has a weird face though.
That's kind of true. That's fair.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't mess up the Hulk too much because it's just a skull. It's a giant
Yeah.
green face. I don't know. That
I don't
does
know-
bother me though.
Thor for some reason looks really off-putting.
He looks
I
like
don't-
just someone's dad.
Yeah, he kind of does.
Is it like, oh, I'm just a dad? Great.
I think they
I'm
could have done something different with like, I don't know, his facial hair, his long hair. Like it almost like it's something with the hair physics maybe that is disturbing.
Possibly. What is this? What is his hair? Do they have him with the long hair?
They have him with the long hair, but it just looks like, I don't know. I feel like it might be their hair physics that is throwing it off a lot, because it just looks like he glued on his beard.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. I think it's the lighting too. Like the shadows and stuff on their face makes it look weird.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess when you're playing the game, you're not going to be looking at their faces a lot, so that's a positive.
That's true. But the gameplay did really like catch my eye, because watching like multiple characters on screen, it didn't feel like that was gonna be the game initially, and just watching it kind of happen all together, even though it was a little framey, was really cool. Like watching Iron Man, fly in and start shooting his, his beams from his hands as other people were already fighting at the mission was really cool. Like that part looked really, and I think it was from one of the missions that it's going to be in the beta, and I don't know. I think it's definitely worth giving it a shot. I'm definitely more sold on the game than I was before.
For
So,
sure. By a mile. Although I was
yeah,
going to play the beta anyway because it's a free beta. But
that's true. Yeah.
this did sell me on, I have to check this out. So I'm excited in 7 weeks or whenever the hell. Their whole rollout for this is ridiculous. But we have to get together and shoot stuff out of the sky, I guess.
Yeah, I got major Anthem vibes from it though, and so I don't know if that's
Yeah.
a good or a bad thing. I don't
I-
really know.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see how this
Yeah.
goes, man. It could go. It could go either way. Although it's coming out at a good time since Cyberpunk moved away from September. Now there is nothing really.
Yeah.
It's your world to take over, Avengers.
Yeah. There's nothing until we look at a release calendar and realize there's like, oh, there's this game and this game and this game.
It's funny too. This will be the first Avengers thing of consequence. Sorry, Iron Man, VR. Since Far From Home came out. If you think about it.
Yeah.
Because
There's just been nothing.
Yeah, Black Widow was supposed to come out in like May or so. And we didn't get that. And
Yeah,
then,
when did they push that back to? I forgot.
who knows? I hope they push it back to
Never.
Amazon.com so I can just watch it here.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
I have a good enough sound system. Let's just do that. I'll turn it up real loud. It'll make up for any inaccuracy.
Yeah, they really want to release it in theaters, but maybe don't.
I don't know, man. Everyone's just too dumb to. You realize, like, we could be done with this like 2 months ago.
Yeah.
We could have been done with this.
Nobody wants to wear a mask, even though it makes you look cool and like a ninja.
It is kind of fun.
It's my favorite thing to go into a store wearing my sunglasses and my mask and not have to acknowledge that anyone exists.
Mm-hmm.
It's my favorite thing to do in the world.
I don't have to smile
I
at
love it.
anyone.
Don't have to
Just make
smile. Don't
faces
even.
at 'em. It's great.
I just kind of look at people and nod, like I'm wearing a ninja mask.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. I don't even talk to like the people at the cash register, like the cashiers. I just like nod at them.
No, I don't want to talk to them. I never wanted to talk to them. They're the worst people.
I might need to start making noises so at least they don't think I'm like a zombie or something. But maybe just like,
It's reanimated corpses buying
Yeah.
Doritos.
yeah. How'd you know? Damn it.
Good guess.
All right, Ben. Let's move on to the next item on our list here.
Yes. The next item is Halo Infinite's multiplayer will be free to play. Dun-dun-dun.
Yes. Dun-dun-dun. This was actually, I think, wasn't it leaked by, shoot.
Doritos?
Doritos. I thought it was leaked from like an overseas or UK
Oh, no, it was
Amazon store,
leaked
wasn't it?
From some fact sheet that kind of said it weird in an offhand way, I think. And then they came out and confirmed it.
Oh.
Something like that.
Well, either way, that's I think this is a smart move on I mean, I guess 343 Studios or
Whoever.
whoever made the decision, because that gets people in to play it. That, if people aren't sure, oh, I don't know if I'm gonna like playing Halo, that gets people into, feel the gameplay out, feel the mechanics of it. That also keeps people playing who don't want to buy the game. Well, I mean, if
Or
you have an
Game Pass,
Xbox,
or
why don't you
even
have a
if you-
Game Pass?
If you
Yeah.
don't want to try Game Pass, you could just download this on your PC, or you know what I mean? Like, you just try it here, and oh, this looks neat. Okay, I'll do Game Pass and I'll play the game.
Yeah. Now, does this further the rumor of Xbox Live Gold being like free or being included in Game Pass? Because now that if Halo Infinite's going to be free to play, does that mean you don't need Xbox Live to play it online with people? Or kind of like how, because I know like on PlayStation 4, there's some free to play games that you don't need PlayStation Plus for. So I wonder if this is going to be, if this is also kind of pushing that forward as a way for them to just get Halo in as many hands as possible.
I think you're right on. I very well could be a test bed for that and how that would well work, and if that increases engagement with people or anything.
Yeah.
I do. There's just something clearly going on with Xbox Live Gold. It's kind of unnecessary, especially when Gold is part of Ultimate, and then so much stuff is part of Ultimate. I feel like I feel like you could make it Xbox Game Pass, the standard Game Pass, and make that be include gold, and then just get all those gold people into that.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. And then have Ultimate as this extra thing. We really don't need gold, and I think as soon as someone who's resistant to that, which who is this person? That's resistant to Game Pass, as soon as they try it, they'll immediately go, "Oh yeah, I like this."
Yeah.
So I think that's what they're doing clearly going forward. They just had a whole hour-long conference about Game Pass, essentially. So this makes sense. This is exciting. Now, what do you think this means for microtransactions? Or they said something about a battle pass, so you'd have to still buy the battle pass.
I feel like it'll probably have microtransactions. I don't see them going too crazy with it because I think the main thing they're going to try to push is selling the Halo Infinite campaign.
Sure.
So, but even then, like if they have microtransactions or like the battle pass is going to probably take care of a lot of that. But like even with other games that have battle passes, there's still like tons of microtransactions to buy like cosmetics and things like that. So I have a feeling that's what they're going to be doing, and they'd be smart too. I mean, like why not use the legacy of Halo to make extra money and get people excited about like, their customized, I don't know, Master Chief helmet that they can wear while they play Halo Infinite. I mean, it's bound to happen, and if you don't buy it, then you don't have to worry about it. If you don't buy microtransactions or whatever, then good on you, whatever. But I think for the people that do want to spend money on that, I think that'd be a cool option for them, other than just having the battle pass. It'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, we'll see how that side of it goes. But this is exciting. It's a little weird because we were both gonna play this. Like this doesn't change anything about Halo for me.
Yeah, it really doesn't.
But it's really cool.
Like Game Pass is such a like easy sell that like they could really just say anything. It's like it's gonna be on Game Pass. And it's like, all right,
like okay, cool, neat.
Yeah, cool.
I do also think that this adds more fuel to the heavy rumors of there being a battle royale. Like you make this free to play, and then you have the battle royale part of it, even if it's not at launch. That's a great way to go. And with xCloud and all that shit, you could play this anywhere, and you could play that battle royale anywhere on your iPad with a controller. Like that's potentially pretty cool and really
on
big
your Windows
in
phone.
the world with Fortnite and
Yeah,
Apex and blah 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 blah.
that's smart. I think a lot of people that are looking for some old school Halo are gonna be looking to play it, and I think if it's something they can have on PC as well as Xbox One and Xbox Series X, then I think making it free to play, giving it a battle royale mode in that multiplayer, I think you can easily draw a huge crowd, especially people that do play like Fortnite and Call of Duty Warzone. Be very smart, very smart.
Yeah, the more I think about and I'm not a battle royale guy, but the more I think about a Halo battle royale, I just wish that was what they showed. Like they didn't even show campaign. They just said, "Here's our battle royale." It's real cool because Halo already has so many elements that I understand, like all the weapons, all the grenades or vehicles or anything with it. Like I get this. It has the world. It has the setup. I just imagine it being like a Warzone, where you can fly around in a ghost and do all this. That just sounds so cool, and it's better be a thing that's happening, because I think that could be very, very successful.
Yeah, it'd be awesome. I think I think everyone's really excited about Halo, and as someone who isn't like I think Halo fans are excited about Halo. Like it doesn't seem like they're like, although there was initial hate about the sprinting and like, oh, this looks weird. I think overall it seems like the Halo fans that I watch or listen to like seem really excited about it. And that's what they need to do. That's what 343 needs to aim for is the people that they almost lost with 4 and 5. Because you bring them in, then they're gonna bring their friends in, and then everyone's
nice free to play. Let me just download this. Cool.
Yeah. We're all just having a good old time in Halo.
You know, something else with this free to play thing. The game, we've already talked about how the game doesn't look amazing. Could that also be this can run on phones? And you could have the Battle Royale on your phone, like Fortnite.
Maybe. You know, with xCloud.
And with phones being fairly powerful, like the low spec Xbox that can run this. I mean, that came out 7 years ago. Phones are catching up to it. You dumb it down a little more, play it on your phone, and you have that Battle Royale. I think that could be big. That's not something to not be excited about. I think we'll see though.
Yeah,
I like the speculation.
I love it.
Cool. All right. Switching gears to Nintendo.
Nintendo.
So I've been following the giga-leak, which I guess I put on the dock as gig-leak, which is not intentional.
Yeah, I assumed that's what it was referring to, so
I didn't even notice until just now, and it's gonna bother me. The giga-leak. So this was obviously a bunch of data stolen from Nintendo, and I think we can all agree that's not good.
No.
That's not good. But all this information and like insider secret shit from games that came out 20 years ago or 30 years ago or even and games that like stuff from Mario World or Ocarina of Time, Mario 64, secret or like Donkey Kong games that didn't come out, Star Fox. Some of these games are games like people's favorite games of all time. And I think it's really cool to have new information about them in a way. Like, these are games, you look at something like Ocarina of Time, which now has these leaked test areas and different icons and even just like high res versions of the map, which was awesome. I love that stuff. And these are games that people have been just invested in for so long, and it's so nice to wake up one day like there's new information about my favorite game from 20 years ago. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that. And I love seeing all these weird in development, in process stuff. I wish the games industry wasn't so secretive about everything in general. I fear that the reaction to this will make them more secretive, but when the game's 20 years old, this is just cool shit. This isn't insider secrets. Like no one's gonna learn anything crazy from this because it's oh, I figured out how you made Mario 64. Like, great, weirdo. Like what? That's not a big deal. I think it's so cool to especially seeing like the progression of Yoshi as they developed that.
Skinny Yoshi's gonna give me nightmares.
Yeah, it's very creepy.
Yeah.
This is what we need to see from games. Like the iteration is always talked about, but we never see it. And gamers, we've kind of shot ourselves in the foot as a whole because people will freak out. Oh, this isn't how it looked out when it came out. You showed that trailer and it had this and it had that, and now it's not like that. Like, well, things change, and I feel like if developers were more transparent of what they were doing and why things changed, and there were updates more frequently, and it wasn't an E3 trailer and then 2 years later the game, we'd have more like, oh, we changed this because this didn't work, or we got a new idea for that, so we shelved that. I think that's exciting. I would love a developer diary for something like Ocarina of Time where they just go through area by area and you're just playing through the game and like, oh, this is the forest and we decided to move these trees, and at first this wasn't even in the game, we added this character. Like, that shit's so cool. And video games are so secretive for really no reason, and I think to their own detriment.
Yeah. Let us in. We want to see.
Yeah. Have you looked at any of these or care about any of this stuff? Because there's like leaked Pokemon, beta Pokemon. It's really cool.
So I didn't get to see a lot of that. I saw like little things like the skinny Yoshi, which was disturbing. I saw the thing about there being when I asked about the Luigi being in Super Mario 64.
Yes.
Like that thing that I'm not too sure what happened with that, but but that seems like interesting. Like I like the idea that they're I mean, I'm hoping there still is something out there like unlocked secrets in video games that people still haven't found. Um, but even just hearing weird stuff like this, like stuff that they were trying out that they didn't actually do,
Yeah.
um, I think that stuff is pretty cool. And like how one thing I forgot where I even heard it, but they were someone was talking about how with like Souls games, like for example, like I think I think it was Dark Souls 2, maybe 1. The DLC gave hints of like Bloodborne because of
Oh,
the bosses being like faster, so they're kind of like trying out the mechanics
yeah.
there.
There's a lot of that because like the DLC for Bloodborne, a lot of those bosses feel like Sekiro.
Yeah, and so hearing about that like made me really interested in like, dude, what else is going on behind the scenes on these games? And I think there's just a lot out there that we wish we could like see, especially for old games that there wasn't as much around because of the internet not being around as big and
Yeah.
everywhere. Now we see leaks all the time for random shit. Like,
But
there's
we don't see leaks like this where it's the
Yeah.
iterative process. Here's Cassandra from Assassin's Creed, but the first version that looks completely different. Or I love that shit. There's a
Yeah.
bunch of this happened. Maybe it's just because the N64 emulator has been good for 20 years. But there's a bunch of hidden rooms and things where they just like, oh, the art for the cutscene is just in the sky way over there. I love shit like that. It's so cool.
Yeah, it reminds me of when that Prince of Persia leak came out not too long ago.
Right.
Yeah.
A little different, but actually very similar because they probably never would have shown that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool. I would love to see like the pitch video for Ghost of Tsushima from Sucker Punch. Like, here's our pitch for this game, and we made a little bit of it. That'd be awesome. I would love to see the pitch video for like Last of Us or any of these things. But it all feels so like there's so much attachment and secrecy to it, and this competition of like we don't want to show that. What if we don't do this? Like, if it's this old, like older than 15 years, just show it. I think that's beneficial to the industry as a whole and to people growing up that might want to develop games to actually see this process in a way that's not like, oh, here's a trailer and here's the finished product. And yeah, stuff happened in between, but don't ask about that. You'll never know. It's very weird. Like, we have tons of behind the scenes documentaries about movies and every process of a movie we know. Whereas in a game, it's just like, it's that South Park of like, question marks? Game. Like,
Yeah.
I don't like that.
I think that's why I liked the indie game movie so much, because you did kind of get to see a lot of behind the scenes and like the process of like, this is what we're putting into this game. Like, this is me drawing out when it was Edmund from Team Meat, he was drawing out the levels on like graph paper, like just seeing his concepts and then them putting that into into the game, and just like seeing that process and how it works. Like, I love that. I would love to see that for iconic games like Super Mario 64 or Super Mario World, stuff like that. Like, it's pretty cool. So even though this is a crummy way for that stuff to come out because someone hacked the hard drive or server to get this stuff and then released it, like, it's still cool to see that stuff, although it happened in a shitty way.
Right. And there's still more information coming because I don't know exactly the process. I don't really care to know exactly how all this is going down, but there's so much data and they're kind of combing through it and finding things as it happens. So it's developing because I think it was like a couple terabytes of data. It was a lot.
Oh, wow. Damn.
Yeah, it was a lot of stuff. And especially when N64 games are like these tiny files.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking in my head too. I was like, oh wait, for old games too, a terabyte is like an infinite amount.
Like every single game released before 95 could fit in a terabyte.
Yeah, for sure. Oh my gosh. That's crazy.
All of them together.
That's kind of crazy to think about too, is
is.
Like just the size of games is huge.
Right.
I don't know.
It's crazy. All right, do you want to talk about Battletoads?
Battletoads, yeah. So one of the I was listening to the Kind of Funny Xcast, and they had brought up why Battletoads wasn't shown at the Xbox Games Showcase with it, with the release and everything. And Major Nelson on there said that because it was releasing so soon, they didn't want to put it on there. They figured they would just use the showcase for games that are coming out, holiday or after.
Next gen or whatever.
Yeah. So it was kind of nice to see Battletoads get a release date, and it's very soon, and it's also on Game Pass. So I am definitely playing it as someone who loved Battletoads as a kid. Didn't understand how hard it was because I really just played the first few levels of it and really enjoyed it.
Right.
Never hit the rage point of like, I'm never gonna beat this, because I didn't realize that the game was that hard. I just figured like, oh, at that time I was like okay enough just playing it and then just not getting any further and being like, okay, I'll play something else.
Yeah. Oh, I guess I died. Okay, next game.
Yeah. Oh, I guess I keep dying right here on this jet ski part. Okay, I'll play Double Dragons and Battletoads, because that's a cool game too, and that one I actually really like too. Did you ever play that one?
No, I don't think I've ever. I'm vaguely familiar with it, but I've never played that.
Yeah, I think is it Battletoads and Double Dragons, or yeah, something like
it's
that.
Double Dragon. There's no
Double Dragon.
Yeah.
There's two dragons.
Yeah, but it's called Double Dragon.
What?
You're just like adding S's to things.
I do, yeah. Yeah, that's true. Like that show The Boys is actually just called The Boy.
Oh, is it? Is it now? The Umbrellas' Academies?
Yeah, it's not even an academy, it's just some dude with an umbrella.
I wish it was about umbrellas.
Yeah.
I've never seen the show. I don't know if there's an umbrella in the show.
It's like the logo or something like that. Yeah, it is Battletoads and Double Dragon, you're right.
I know I'm right about that.
Yeah. Man, the cover is so iconic of that game. I love it.
Yeah. So this Battletoads, new Battletoads, looks good.
Yeah, that's all right.
I don't know how much I'll like it. I'm not a big fan of Battletoads. It's good, but I don't know.
I like seeing games from the past make a reappearance, and it's kind of like that glimmer of hope that you really do wish that Microsoft and their new, like, all their studios really dig into like the games from, like the IPs from Xbox and Xbox 360 that should make a reappearance, because I think there's a lot hidden in there that they could definitely bring like to Xbox One and Xbox Series X and stuff like that.
Does the release date for this game feel like they're sending it to die?
I don't know. It's hard to tell. Like with Game Pass, are you really sending anything out to die?
So.
It's kind of hard with that, and that's kind of like when which I don't know if we talked about last week. We might have not. It might have happened earlier this week, but Cuphead coming out on PS4.
Yeah.
Like I think that's smart of. And I don't know if it's a Microsoft or Xbox decision. Maybe it's just Studio MDHR like that decided to do this, but I think that's so smart for Xbox to just get their games on every platform. You're touching every platform, you're reaching every gamer in a way, right? And that's kind of like their whole plan. Let's just get the games to the gamers. And if they do this with Game Pass eventually, like somehow get Game Pass on PlayStation, or even get it on the Switch with certain games, like that'd be huge for them to just be like, we don't need to outsell PlayStation on our console because we are part of their console now, and our games are selling, our games are on there, people are playing our games, they're in our ecosystem in some way, and they know where their deal is. Like, but that's also the tricky part is if they do that, aren't they kind of taking away sales from people they're working with in a way, right? It's that like tricky line.
Yeah, well, it's worth noting that they have no involvement in Cuphead. Like they don't own that studio or
right,
IP,
right.
So that's just a nice thing that's happening.
Yeah. So they're what is it? Just that their exclusivity ran out?
Honestly, from what I understand, Microsoft helped them with funding to finish the game, or in some way helped them. And that's why it came there first, but there was no deal. It wasn't like, you can't put this on anything. And if there was, it takes them so long to put anything anywhere else. It was like, oh, it's a year, but it took them 2 years. it came out on Switch and then it comes out now randomly. It feels like they're just doing this at their leisure.
Yeah.
Right. It's not, oh, you had to wait a year and then after a year it came out on PS4 and Switch at the same day. It didn't. Like, they're years apart. All these titles or all these Cuphead releases are years apart. So I feel more like that's just they're keeping it all in house and porting it over themselves.
That's smart. That's smart. I think I'm really interested to see how it sells on PlayStation.
I think it's gonna do great. It's a phenomenal game. Did you ever play Cuphead?
I did not, and now I'm kind of interested.
Alright, okay.
I thought it was going to be on Game Pass, but I think maybe it was, and they eventually took it off there, or it just has never been on there, and I was just maybe thinking it was.
Huh. That's weird. I thought
Yeah.
it was.
Yeah, it's not. It's on there now. Maybe it's one of those games that they rotated off at a certain point. But yeah, Battletoads. I'm definitely gonna check it out. If Streets of Rage 4 came out not too long ago, and it was pretty cool. I'm just not super into those games, so I do.
Yeah.
And if Battletoads is kind of like that, I heard it's extremely hard. Like, the difficulty in it is very unforgiving, but I still want to check it out and see how it plays. I don't know if exactly it's my type of game, as I think back in the day that was maybe just all we had. So
Right.
things have changed.
That was your one game you had.
Yeah.
Okay,
Every-
I'll play this.
Every game goes from right to left, so it's like you don't really have a choice.
It's another one of those walkies.
Yeah.
I'll try this, see how it goes. Why not Game Pass?
Yeah.
Pretty much what it is.
Why not Game Pass?
Why
that
not
should
Game
that should be their
Pass?
tagline. Why not Game Pass?
Do you want to play this game? I guess Game Pass.
Cool.
It's true.
We could talk about Anthem. The main thing is there's a update on their loot system. It's coming. It's not out yet. I don't think so. But they've listed a ton of changes. Seems interesting. I watched the video from this guy that generally hypes me up about Anthem, and he kind of went into detail about, like, the loot's gonna be much more like, I guess, much like better loot drops. It's a better experience for loot. You're gonna get rewarded for the time you put in, but it's also gonna respect your time. So it's not like, oh, you have to grind this much to get a drop that you like and things like that. There's gonna be more of a better quest system, things that they've been working on. But I'm not too sure if I'm gonna check it out anytime soon. I might.
This game came out a year and a half ago, and this update is not even out.
It's not. I don't think it's out.
Yeah, it's not out. Is there saving Anthem? Like, is there anything to
No.
save at this point?
You save Anthem by making it free to play, and
I don't think you do though.
I think that's the only way. Like, I don't think you can really save this game. I think the way you get people into play it, make it available to everybody, and worst case scenario, you put in some sort of battle pass or like microtransactions for things like that. If you can make it an experience that people want to come back to, because I don't think it is right now, and it's really hard to be like, hey, if you do want to check out Anthem again, buy it or get the what is it, that EA premium thing.
Yeah.
Origin access. I don't even. Too many of them. I don't know. It's that thing where I've been waiting to hear what this new version of Anthem's going to be, the revival or whatever. And it seems like things are starting to come out about it, because I still think it's a fun game to play, but I just think there's just not enough there to really draw people in. And that's all I'll say about that.
Yeah, well, I'll believe it when I see it, which is I'll never see it.
Never. I'll never see it. He ain't never gonna
They
believe it.
should have just. Yeah, I don't know.
Kill it.
Man,
Pull the plug,
speaking
damn
of
it.
behind the scenes bullshit, I want to know so much about Anthem's development and what choices, because we already actually do know a fair amount, but how did you think you could launch this game, and how did you think you could launch Andromeda when you did, and why you did it, and does anyone at EA give a shit? Because they just seem like, oh, people don't like us, let's just continue to make poor choices. It's so weird.
Yeah, it's really crazy that there's a Mass Effect game that nobody likes.
And it's actually good.
Right.
You know, it's actually a good game. Oh my god! And like, oh, you expect Dragon Age to be good? Why?
I don't.
EA's just shit all over themselves for the last 5 years. What's their next gen plan? Oh, that's right. There was no next gen plan shown. Oh, okay, good, great. Seems like they're really on the pulse.
Yeah, it's what's concerning is like I really like Dragon Age Origins. We really like Mass Effect 2, right? But it seems like at a certain point, things started really going downhill. Like they almost
2012?
like they almost made the games too alike is the problem. And so and they it's almost like they felt we can just make these cookie cutter games and everyone's going to love them and we don't have to worry about really like taking the time to put in, you know, a great story with great characters, with maybe a different style to play. Like everything seemed like it was going the same way. Like Dragon Age 2 became this like hack and slash, really like generic RPG.
Mm-hmm. But Inquisition was different.
I'm still gonna go back and play because I remember getting bored of it because to me it started feeling a lot like 2. Although there was some elements that I did like about it because it did have more of that strategic gameplay that they did have in Dragon Age Origins. But I just have to refresh my memory on it because it's been so long since I played it.
I really liked that game.
But like with like Mass Effect 3 became like I liked that Mass Effect 1 was very much more RPG-ish and really like felt like old BioWare. Where when you get to 2, and 2 is great, like I loved it, but it was definitely more of a like a third person shooter. And then when you get to 3,
it's like
what is this?
It's good, like, and that's the problem.
It is good.
That game's good, but is it Mass Effect anymore at a certain point?
Yeah.
I don't know. It was very ambitious what they did, making that a trilogy, and I do think they did a great job overall with it. It just, there's some things, and even, like, look at EA's lineup for this fall. It has the sports games, like usual, and then there's Star Wars Squadrons. And then, is that it? Like, is that all EA is putting out on a launch year for new consoles? Is Madden and a $40 Star Wars game that's not even getting a next gen version?
No Battlefield, right?
No, there's no Battlefield.
No Battlefield.
There's no Battlefront either.
No Battlefront.
There's no Medal of Honor. There's nothing.
Their smart thing is, you know, putting Squadrons at a $40 price point so people are more willing to buy it, which I think will be pretty cool. I definitely want to check that game out, although if it's just purely multiplayer, like, I don't know how much I'm going to hang in there for.
It's not purely multiplayer. There is a campaign. I don't know if I can talk about it, but I have played it. There was a closed alpha thing, but I heard someone talk about it because someone did a preview, so you could talk about what they talk about in the preview, but I don't know what they talked about. But I did enjoy what I played. I'll say that.
Okay, cool. I mean, I've heard good things about it, like as far as what like people's impressions of what they've seen. So
it's pretty neat. I think it's worth the month of EA access or whatever it is to try it. And do that. But I don't know. I don't know what they're doing, and I feel like I could have made this same argument about them 5 years ago, which is not great.
Yeah.
What was the I guess Jedi Fallen Order and Apex. Yeah, those are two big things that they did, but that's the same studio. You get rid of Respawn, and what do you have?
Garbage. Yeah,
just disappointment is what you have, EA. I'm just so disappointed in you. Where's Burnout? You could have had 3 Burnout games by now, you idiots.
It's true. Ben.
Yes.
I think that's it for news.
Okay, fine.
No more news.
An hour
for anybody.
Now we're in. News. It's over.
We're done with it. I wanted to talk about Ghost of Tsushima some more.
All right.
And then we can talk about the rest of the things.
Sure thing.
The rest of them. But I just made it to Act 2. Cool. And I think I've just, like, for some reason, I've had a hard time, like, when I'm away from the game, I don't really feel like playing it. Once I sit down and play it, then I'm kind of like, okay, I'm getting into this, but it's also that thing of, like, I see so many things on the map that I'm kind of like, I gotta do this, do that, or should I just go for this main story? And so I did that. I was like, you know what, let me just get to Act 2. let me just make it there, and then let's see how I feel afterwards. I got to Act 2, and right away I was like, cool, now I want to go back and clear out all the space from Act 1.
Oh yeah.
But I did like that initial last or like main mission that you get to for Act 1. The story of it really kind of sucked me back in, and I was kind of like, okay, like I do like all the side characters, and even like the main villain guy is interesting and like kind of, you know, he's kind of a dick, but also like I like the kind of villain he is, and I like the idea of him trying to like, you know, sway some people to his side, things like that. I don't know how bad we are on spoilers here, mainly because I'm not super far in. So, but there's just something about the game that doesn't like, it's not blowing me away, but it's also like, I do enjoy playing it. And it's the first time I think I've ever played a game on normal and been like, this is way too easy, and then put it on hard. And then I'm almost on, at certain points thinking of putting it on lethal, but I haven't gone that far yet.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I've left it on normal just because I don't find the combat. It is easy, and then every once in a while I get hit in the face, and it's just not fun. It's not fun to fail at that combat. I don't feel like
Definitely
I failed
not.
because of me. I failed because the gameplay's sloppy. I don't know. I still find a lot of instances of the auto-targeting, targeting stuff I'm not trying to hit, or like if an enemy's to my left and an enemy's to my right, and I want to fight the one to the right, but the one on the left is closer, he'll like pivot weird, and then sometimes I'll just slash the air, and I'm like, can I slash anything, please? I feel like Devil May Cry or Bayonetta, these games that are third-person action games and don't, I mean, those games have lock-on, but you can play them totally without it and be fine for the most part, especially Bayonetta. I never feel like I'm missing, and I'm just wildly swinging at air, but I feel like that a lot in Ghost. Maybe not a lot, but enough to where I can't say I really enjoy this combat. It's so, I don't know, there's just several design choices where I'm like, I don't like that. I understand why other people will really like that. I specifically do not like several things they did with the combat. And I also don't like, and this goes for any game, where you can just hit a button and heal yourself. I feel like it's such a crutch as a designer. Like, why don't you just make it the enemies not do as much damage and not give me 40 health potions? It's like the whole, I'm playing Skyrim and let me pause to eat 45 turkeys to heal myself. Like, well, why don't you just make the gameplay balanced, like more balanced than nonsense? Or even Breath of the Wild, where enemies hit you for 10 hearts, but they only hit you for 10 hearts because they know that you can cook 7,000 fillets and then stick them in your pockets. If I didn't have all that food to eat, you could balance the gameplay in a way that was reasonable.
Yeah.
And not ridiculous. And that, it bothered me too, and Horizon has that with the healing button, or Spider-Man has that as well, the heal me button. Like, just make the enemies don't hit me as much and get rid of the healing button. That really bothers me.
I think that's why I moved the difficulty up, because I was like, I'm like, the healing is kind of a crutch. Also, like, I'm able to jump in the air. Like, I'm able to jump 6 feet like I'm LeBron James, and they can't hit me with their sword. No, like, I just jump. Like, I'm trying to hit circle, but I hit jump instead, and so I still avoid their slash or something like that. And I'm just like,
that's fine.
But the grapple was pretty cool. The grappling hook that they added.
Yeah, I really like that.
I really do like that. I'm glad the story is starting to draw me in, because I feel like the gameplay is just not that interesting enough to really keep me hooked.
I like exploring and finding new stuff.
Yeah, I do like that. I like the world.
Yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful.
I went back to photo mode, which is a miracle, because I never go back to photo mode. I went back and took one more little screenshot thing.
I've used photo mode a couple times where I was sneaking around an encampment, and I just went to photo mode and panned around the building. I was like, okay, that guy's facing the wrong way. Cool. And then I went back to the game.
That's smart. It's almost like you have a drone.
Yeah. Oh, you're going to let me do this? Sure. There was one shrine challenge where I couldn't figure out where to jump to. Like, I couldn't see the handhold, so I just went to photo mode and looked around. Like, oh, there it is. Found it. That's cool. I don't know if that's the intended use. Definitely not. I do think the story gets a lot better, like you're saying in Act 2. There's a specific mission, main mission in Act 2 that, as it happens, it was one of those Tim Geddes get hype moments of like, let's fucking go. Let's do this. This is awesome. I love it. That was so cool. Can't wait for you to get to that. That was one of my favorite moments of the game, and it elevated the game as a whole for me. It was that good of like, this experience was, any annoyances I had are lessened by how much that delivered. And it was a story moment. It was also a gameplay moment. It was really well done. And I think I'm towards the very end of Act 2. I'm basically now just doing the side shit I want to do, which is following birds and cutting bamboo and all that stuff. And any encampments I'm not really participating in. I don't care about... The encampments aren't fun for me either.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Sounds good. I don't even remember what we were talking about anymore. Ghost of Tsushima?
Ghost of Tsushima something.
Yes.
Should we address that there was an interruption?
Yeah.
I thought it was your kid at first. I was like, who's this? Is that a kid that ran into the room?
No, I heard the pop in of someone joining the chat, and then I was like,
didn't hear it.
I was like, Logan? In my head, I was like, oh, maybe Logan's joining us. That's weird.
All right, so we got interrupted.
Yeah. Got a little bit interrupted. We did.
Who knows where we were? It's impossible to know.
Yeah, we need a bouncer.
I worked on that. I think we got a bouncer now. I guess this is why you watch live.
Yeah. If you were watching live, you got to meet our guest.
Yeah, our surprise get like Kool-Aid Man's into the middle of the fucking show.
That was pretty good.
That was pretty funny though.
Yeah.
It's a good game. I remember when I said Control was the best 8 out of 10 ever made, or something like that. I feel the same way about this game, where it's so well made and they've executed so much of it in a way that's like, you did it,
guys.
There's just so much other stuff about it that I don't care about or enjoy. I still find glitches where I jump on stuff and like, oh, that doesn't have collision, so I just like slide off of it like a weirdo.
Yeah.
I jumped into something and he couldn't land, and after a couple seconds of that, it faded to black and I appeared outside of it. It's pretty funny. I don't know how I keep finding these things. Again, the auto aim doesn't work for me. The stealth is fine. I do think the story missions, though, in Act 2 really do help and improve a lot of it. I'm liking where it's going. There's a lot of... In Act 2 in general, there's these duels that can happen. Or not can happen. They're on the map, and there's a side quest for it. And they're in these beautiful environments, and the duels are awesome. I really do like those. There's just, again... And I actually just upgraded my combat to a couple things I forgot about, so I don't know if it'll change, but there's something about the combat that still does not feel right. And I'm not 100% sure I could put my finger on what it is.
Okay. All right. I'll have to give it more time.
Yeah. Oh, I did. Actually, no, that's what it is. It's you don't get better at the game. The game just gives you more shit to do. You know what I mean? You're not beating the shield guy because you figured out how to counter his moves. You're beating the shield guy because you unlocked the anti-shield button, essentially. That's my problem with the combat system. Everything is... It's not player skill. It's... I unlocked this thing, and I unlocked this other thing, and now you go back through early areas in the game and you destroy them because... Not because you're good, but because you unlocked a bunch of stuff. And I don't mind that necessarily, but in a game that feels so much inspired by a Souls game with the combat, it doesn't fit right. And actually, I wasn't going to, but I played a little bit of Neo too. And God, that game's good. That game's so good. And it just shows the focus of having these one-on-one battles in a game where you can lock on and it's all about the systems. It
Yeah.
works so much better for me. But the buttons are slightly different, so I have to finish Ghost first.
Yeah, yeah. I think part of the problem with Ghost of Tsushima is you become too powerful and it takes away a lot of the fun of the battle system to me. Like I think having the battle system be difficult, or at least having the enemies be more difficult and you don't feel like overpowered, makes that game better. So I think that's why I even moved it up, to high difficulty, because I was like, it gets boring if I'm just running through and slashing all these guys, and even to the point where I'm surrounded and I'm still just able to handle all these guys, it's not as fun anymore.
I don't know. I feel like when I'm surrounded, someone's behind a bush and I can't see them, and it just doesn't work right. It feels like like the enemies a lot of times, and it's smart, but it's not fun. Where one guy will do an attack and you'll dodge it, and then another guy does an attack, so you can't take advantage of the guy you just dodged. And I feel like that would have been fun though. It would have been fun to dodge that thing, kill him, the other guy goes for attack at the perfect moment, and string together these combos of kills. Instead, it's just kind of all interacting at the same time. And like you're saying, you get all these abilities where if I wanted to, I'll just start throwing smoke bombs and all this other shit. Like, how many bombs do I have? It's so many bombs.
Yeah.
And that would make the combat even easier. And you look at something like Sekiro, where it's just pared down to you are fighting with a sword, and that is basically it. And because of that focus, they can really know what the player has and manipulate them. Whereas in this game, I could be stealthy, I could shoot this bomb arrow, I could throw these other darts, I could throw a wind chime. It just
That could be
kind of gets all
everything.
muddled.
Yeah. Definitely.
I like it. I like it a lot, but I am rushing, air quotes, rushing to the end.
Okay.
I'm enjoying the end, though. And I am going to look up where all the shrines are and do all the shrines, because I think that's cool. But we'll see.
We will see, Ben.
Yes.
How's Paper Mario?
It's good. I feel like sometimes it's still dumb. I'm an idiot and I don't know how to solve these puzzles, but I did figure out some of them, and it was like a clue the game gave you at the very beginning when it didn't matter, and now it does matter. Like, oh, that makes sense. Okay, cool. It's confusing, but it's cool. I now have. I'm toward the end of the second area, so there's 5 or 6 areas, I think.
Okay.
Towards the end of the second one, I've done several bosses at this point, and those are fun because they change up the formula where you're trying to get to the boss, like make little mini Mario Party maps, like hit the arrow and then go down here and hit the switch and then hit the attack panel, and you got to line it all up so it works. Those are cool, and they have their own little puzzles to solve of, oh, he's going to do this attack, so I need to get over there and do this. But sometimes I didn't. There was this one, like the first big boss of the area. The final boss of Area 1 is a pencil. It's a pencil box, like a bunch of colored pencils in a box, and you could grab it and shut it. And I didn't really understand why, but what I was supposed to do was go the other side of it and open it, and then wail on it. But it wasn't very clear that was what I was supposed to do, and it was easy enough to just manipulate the game board and not really get hit that much, to where I almost killed the boss without realizing that was a thing you could do. And I thought that was a strange choice. Like, I would have made that weak point, like, that's the kill. You can only kill it via this. Whereas you could basically kill that boss by being a moron and get through it. So that's a strange choice to me. Because, like, it's a really cool, flashy animation that you want to see. I want to beat this boss in a way that's cool. But you don't have to do it because you do enough damage to abuse the system. it's almost as if the bosses shouldn't have HP, but instead they should have like, oh, you triggered this thing, so now it's, and phase 2 begins, and then you do it again, and then it's over, something like that instead. Um, it's still one of those games too where this is clearly for kids, but like really smart kids. I don't understand. There's this sliding puzzle in the second in the second area of a dungeon, and I'm looking at this like, if you're 10 years old, I think this puzzle might be really hard. I don't know who this is for, but I'm enjoying it. It's very well written, very funny. I do kind of wish I could just turn off the battles though. Like I kind of get it. I don't need to do this. I don't get experience points.
I heard the boss battles are really fun though.
Yeah, the boss battles are fun. That's what I was mentioning. Whether you have to get to where they navigate to them in a certain way.
Oh, the other battles leading up to it is what you want to.
Yeah, the other battles. I'm fine. I don't need this. Because it'll give you. Because you have your boots, and then you have iron boots that let you step on spiky things without getting hurt, and stuff like that. But all the stuff except for your base equipment has durability, so they'll break in the middle of a fight or after a fight. And now, well, I hope I have more iron boots. So I just recently now went to the store and I bought like 4 of every weapon so that I have them as extras. And I don't think that's fun. Like that's just kind of annoying, especially when money's everywhere. So really, I just have to go to the store and buy a bunch of shit. So why isn't this just unlockable in some way? And there's no experience points for this fight, so it's just like a thing I'm doing for fun. I don't know. I do like it, and I will finish it because it is funny, and I enjoy seeing all the wacky stuff that goes on. But it's odd. It's a strange one.
Okay.
Tell me about Grounded though. That's what I want to know.
Grounded. Yeah. So it's on Game Pass. It's in that game preview, and I like it so far. It is very much survival game like all the others, as far as like having to find materials and craft items. There's like the characters are voice acted, and even like some of the I guess just like the overall like quest line is supposed to be active. I didn't get super deep into the actual quest line. I was more just kind of wandering around and like looking at stuff. And it's pretty cool to like see what they're doing with it. And I like the danger of like running into fire ants, or the like how dangerous they made spiders, because you run into a spider and you're pretty much dead unless you have armor and a good weapon to kill it with. But I did get bored really quick, and I think a lot of that just has to do with the fact that this game is only going to be fun with friends, for me anyways, because it's really difficult to play by yourself, and like, because you run into a spider and then you're dead, and then if you have to go back and get your backpack and the spider's still there, then you can't get your backpack, so you lose all your items that are in your backpack, and then you got to kind of start over. So I think it'd be cool to play with friends. I kind of like what they're doing. I can definitely see where it's leading. I just hope there's more as far as like their crafting trees and things like that, because it does stop at a certain point as far as like where you're like what you're building armor with, which is like pieces of ant and stuff like that you've killed, and different parts of plants
pieces
and shit.
Of ant.
Yeah, like you can make armor out of like ant parts, which is pretty cool. But yeah, I didn't get super deep into it, but I did like what I played. I want to play with more people, because I think then I could really get in there and like it'd be a good time.
Well, I'd say I'd play it with you. Is it crossplay?
Well, I downloaded it on PC, so you can download it on Game Pass Ultimate or on Xbox, but I don't think it's cross-platform. At least I haven't seen. I did hear that the Xbox version is more stable as far as like online matchmaking. But
okay,
yeah, I haven't had a chance to try it.
Yeah,
I don't have a lot of Xbox friends, so that I think that's probably why. But also people play a lot earlier in the day than I do, because I don't play till like later at night.
All right,
So that also doesn't help.
It looks cool. I do want to give it a shot. I love Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. So
Yeah,
that.
exactly. Cool. Yeah. I jump back into Animal Crossing. I know you play it kind of on the daily.
Yeah, not every day, but yeah.
Have you messed around with the new Dreamscape stuff?
No.
No? Okay.
No, I forgot about it actually.
I heard a lot about it on the Giant Beast cast, and it seems interesting, although, like, I don't know if I want to. I think it'd be cool to visit other people's worlds without having to, like, go through the gates and everything.
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah, like that part's pretty cool. I don't like the idea of, like, making my own dreamscape, you know? Because I have enough of a hard time doing that on my own island.
Well, you're not making anything. It's just your island.
Oh, I thought you got to go in there and, like, remake it if you wanted to.
No.
I guess you get a version of your island to put on the dreamscape, don't you?
Yeah,
Not too
it's
sure how it
just
works.
it's just your island up there.
Okay.
I don't think you get to edit the dreamscape. The dreamscape is where you would go, but it's someone else's place exactly as it is.
Okay. I'll have to look into it
any
more.
sense.
Yeah. Kind of. Anyways.
And it's a little confusing.
Yeah.
I did check out the fireworks.
Oh, cool.
Briefly right before the show, because they start at 7 or something like that. That was neat. Fireworks. It looked cool. Made firework sounds.
You instantly raged.
Yeah, you. I was
Turn
like,
down the volume.
no, I like this. This is fine. I was driving way late. I was like 2 a.m, and I saw fireworks the other day. Like, really? What is going on?
Still? Is this still going on?
I guess. And maybe I was hallucinating. I don't know. I almost hope that was it, other than the fireworks. But you can put little patterns, and I did that to make it do those as fireworks. That's cool. It's weird that I didn't see a way to look at the fireworks besides just moving the camera. It would have been nice if I could have sat on a bench and then it just panned up and showed it, so I didn't have all this shit in the way of, like, the dinosaur bones I have everywhere, or trees, or Tom Nook's face, or, all this garbage. I just want to see the fireworks, but I didn't see a way to do that.
Okay.
But definitely check it out. It's every weekend in August.
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 It's a bird.
Yeah.
August.
So, Ben, I gotta know, what happens at the end of Good Burger 2, the novel?
I don't know, dude, but next time I'm at my parents' place, I'm going to look for the book.
Okay.
Because I just don't know where it is. And I'm pretty sure I don't have it here at my place, unless it's in some random box. So I have to go find it, and maybe I'll read it. I know I read it. I don't remember thinking it was that good, Burger, but
Good Burger.
I do remember reading it. It's not very long either. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Right, I'll let you know what happens with that. Maybe in a week or so. We'll see.
Okay. I will wait.
That's been your Good
wait.
Burger update.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I'll read the first page when I get the book. I'll read.
Oh
the
my
first page.
god. Perfect. Perfect.
Yeah. If you look up that book on Amazon, I think it's like $60 because
Jesus.
it's just a rare book.
Why?
Because
How dare they?
it's the sequel to a movie from 20 years ago that no
How
one needs a
dare
book
they?
for.
Can't believe it.
Yeah, I'm gonna find it. I know. See, the problem is I know where I put it when I was 15, but we moved from there 10 years ago, so it's not there anymore. In a box. I'll find it.
All right. Ben, anything else you want to cover
No.
on this episode, this action-packed episode?
Well,
Surprise
too much action,
cameos.
one might say.
Yeah.
Too much.
Anyways, all right. I think that's going to do it for us. We went very long again.
Well, 5 minutes of that is the interruption.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks again for listening. And of course, if you want to reach out to us, you can find us over at thegamefanatics.com, or you can email us at finalcheckpointpod@gmail.com. You can also tweet at us at thejoelness, at Ben Runnings, #finalcheckpoint. You can also watch us live Sundays, 8 p.m. Pacific time, where we stream the live recording of the podcast on twitch.tv/loadlesscheckpoint. And of course, you can find this podcast on, I think, majority of podcast services at this point. If they don't have us there, then they're not real. So I would stop using that service.
Well, that
but
seems weird.
yeah, but Stitcher, Google Play Music, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, huge one there. And then Anchor.fm if all else fails. Or thegamefanx.com has the main link to our articles, and you can actually listen to the episodes right on those pages. So you can and you shall. Yeah, we'll see you guys next week for episode 49.
Ooh.
49. Getting close to that 50.
49. Nice.
Alrighty. Goodbye, everybody.
That's when you fuck a chair.
What?
Get it? Because it's a 4. It looks like an upside down chair.
I don't know. That's going to be the last thing. That's going to be it.
That's pretty good, though. I don't know what the 9 is, but that's what the 4 is. Oh, man. So what's that man doing with that 4, or that chair? What's that 4? What's he doing with that sentient 4? Just a number. Is this vulgar? It's just a fucking number. All right.